Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's end of day trading session. Okay, so it's 7 p.m. Here in South Africa. Sun's kind of just setting now, so getting a bit darker. Now, okay, let's have a look at what has transpired within our trades thus far. Okay, we're in what we call a drawdown, and we have had a couple of trades go against us at this point in time. Here we've got the counter history open. We're done with about almost $800. Can see the stops have been hit, and actually we lost less than 1% on each trade, which is quite awesome actually. And that's because of the fact that we managed the stops the way we do. So you can see even when the trades do go against us, we don't really lose the full amount. Okay, we actually only lose portions of it. Depends on how quickly the market turns against us or how tight the stops are when we take the trade. But all in all, it's about managing the stop properly to make sure you minimize your losses firstly, and secondly, you make sure you give enough room for price to breathe in so that you don't get taken out too early and then price continues moving. Okay, it should be there for one thing and one thing only. It's the penultimate thing that kind of makes you decide, okay, this thing is just not going to go my way. Don't even chance it anymore. That's the stop loss placement, basically. That's what we decide on. Okay, right. Now, looking at the trades we've got open, okay, we're in a slight profit. Some trades are in some nice profits. Others are in a pullback. Um, some of our good old trades are running now quite nicely. But let's have a browse through and have a look as to what is happening within the daily financial markets. So we're on the Euro US dollar daily chart at this point in time. And what we're looking at, okay, here we're looking at price coming back. Can I remember? We looked at it about a week ago. It was down, was basically at the cloud. And we were thinking that there's, two scenarios that could play out. Could either go up, which it did. Okay. And that could take a lot longer for any type of signal to pop up because it means that, the chiku is heading into price, which we see has happened. Okay. And price would consolidating. It's also moving into the cloud. And look how narrow it is there, swapping between bullish, bearish, bullish. It's probably going to swap again. Get into the cloud. We're going to need to wait for another break. So we're probably going to get a slightly better signal a little bit later. Okay, but at this point in time, still seen as being a bit bullish because price is above the cloud. Future Kumo is bullish. Um, everything else is above the cloud. So, but it is consolidating. It's consolidating heavily at this point in time. We were anticipating that it could break down as well, and if it broke down, that would have been a very, very good signal to go for because the chiku span would have cleared price and the cloud. We basically would have had a huge open space in front of it. And I think that, with all that space, I think the momentum with that break could have been quite good. It also would have broken a couple of support resistance levels because as soon as it broke the cloud, it broke a major level over here. Okay. So those were the two setups that could happen. We see that it eventually did go up, and now it's starting to pull down slightly, heading towards the cloud. So we could see some further sideways movement within this. So the real question is really, what do we do at this point in time? Well, nothing. That's the whole thing. We do absolutely nothing. Okay. And all we can do now is we could just wait to see a better signal play out. Remember, there's too much happening in front of the chiku. It's heading towards price. Okay, that's in price basically. It's cleared it slightly now, but I mean, even if this goes lower, okay, there's still a good chance of this actually still heading into price again. So we just need to kind of wait and see what this is going to do, where it's going to go. Is it going to go sideways? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And we'd have a better idea once we get that clearance happening. So give it about another week, and we should have a much better idea of what we're going to do with this, or we might have been, getting into the trade at that point. Okay, so now we're looking at the pound US dollar. Now with this one, we got into a trade as soon as we got the Tenkan Kujinsen cross and was confirmed. Okay, and then we got the clearance with the Chiku as well. So we got in at the stop set. We're going to be able to probably ratchet the stop, I think. Yes, we will be. That's good. Okay. And this is the beautiful thing. Look how price retraced after we took it. Look how close it got to the stop. We're still in. And now it's gone past it. Now we're going to start ratcheting. Okay. So where are we going to ratchet it to? That's the big question. Remember, third flat section back. So I'm going to go. That's a flat section, but it's not completed yet. Okay. It still needs to start coming down again. So let's have a check here. It's one, small little one, two, three. So we're going to move it from there and drag it down to there. Second time we've ratcheted this. Done. Now, what could most likely happen? Is there anything coming up shortly? Okay. Chiku's below price. That's a good sign. Sort of on its way towards price, but this could still go down. Okay. Price is below the cloud. This is a very bearish type of move at this point in time. We do see that the Chiku is kind of wanting to get into price. If it goes low, it could clear it and then it could run. If it turns and it goes up, trend change obviously. This point in time, still looking good for a downwards move or slightly sideways from here and then maybe down. Could go up. Okay. The better probability is the downwards move. What would be another entry signal that could be popping up? Depends on what this does. If this does cross and turns bullish, it's going to be a buy signal, but it's going to be a weak signal because price is bearish. Okay, it's below the cloud. Now, if we wait a little bit longer, it should turn it back into bearish, and that could be an entry signal that we could get. But how long is it going to take? And that's only if that actually does turn bullish. Over here, we've got a Tenkan Kujinsen cross that is going to happen most likely now. And this is probably going to be the soonest signal that we could take. Okay. But there's another signal that's screaming, that's shouting. And which one is that? It's the one that just happened, was confirmed. Okay. By the close last night. It's the Kujin break, price breaking Kujin. Okay. So what is that? We got an entry signal technically. Okay. Now we need to assess, what are we going to do? Are we going to take the Kujin break here? How's everything set up? Is the Tenkan and Kujin in the right order? No, they're not really. They're pointing in a good direction there, but they're not in the right order. They are below the cloud. Price is below the cloud. Cloud itself is bearish. Okay, future Kumo is pointing down. Chiku is below the cloud and below price. There's a little bit of space in front of the Chiku, but it is getting close to price. That's the only little problem that I've got there personally. Okay. Right, so all in all, the signal that the Ichimoku gave, the price breaking Kujin, the Kujin break, a lot of things are pointing in a good direction. This could be one that we could definitely take, but let's look at what could happen just after this. Remember, the next signal that's most likely going to pop up is going to be Tenkan and Kujin Sen cross. Now, I'd probably just want to wait a little bit longer just to see where the Chiku is going to be pushed to know whether it might be clearing price or whether they're going to see it heading towards price and it's going to change the picture then. So I'm rather willing to wait a little bit longer because I know there's another signal coming up in another candle or two, but I'd get a better idea, a better picture of what's most likely going to happen. Okay, this one's still a little bit too early to tell because I'm a bit unsure of where this Chiku span is situated. Okay, so I might just wait a couple of candles extra for that signal of the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross to come up, okay, before I actually take any action on that one. So we did get a signal. I'm just not too happy about that placement. That's the major factor here. Okay. All the rest is in order. The only other thing not in order is obviously the way in which the Tenkan and Kujin Sen is set up. Okay. Right. How's it, guys? Just muting the mics there. Okay. Now, basically, guys, what can happen is with this now, like I said, I'd wait just a couple of candles extra for the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. We did get the Kujin break, but I just want to see what's going to happen with this. Are we going to get price going slightly sideways now, forcing this to go into price? I mean, then it's open play. This could go up, this could go down, this could do anything it wants to. We're going to have to wait for a much clearer signal then, okay? Or do you want to take the chance? I'd rather just wait a little bit longer to see if it forces slightly further down, okay? And that's my personal opinion. So I want to look at, let's say, a couple of steps in advance and gauge if any of the possible upcoming entries could be better. Okay, would it be better to wait for those? And that's the type of analysis that we're going through here. Okay, so everything looks good, everything's run nicely. Big thing though is that I'd rather just wait a little bit longer to get a better idea of the bigger picture, especially with where Chiku Span's going to be sitting. Okay, so I'd hold on this entry until I get the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, but I saved myself from taking the incorrect entry then. Okay, right. Any questions that any of you've got, while we're running through this and that kind of thing, by all means, just use the group chat feature. Okay, you can just type in your questions and that kind of thing. Okay, next chart, let's have a look at what this is doing. Next one, we've got the US franc. Now this one produced a signal a while ago, and that was Kujin break. Right, price breaking the Kujin. It's bearish, it's below the cloud. Cloud Fuchikumo is bearish as well. The reason I did not take that trade was because of, and I'm pretty sure none of you took that one as well. Okay, because the Chiku was too close to price. That's what I didn't like about it, and look what it's doing. Okay, now it's breaking price to the up. It's getting close to the cloud here. We could have a change of trend. Okay, and that's why we assess it so closely to see what could happen. Should I maybe wait for something a little bit in a better position? We could probably just wait for price to come back down again, and we could wait for price breaking the Kujin for the second time. But we should then have the Chiku span clear from, clear from price. And that is an entry I'd more be willing to take then. Okay, still dependent on some of the other factors and how they're situated, but all in all, it should be a lot better type of signal to be taking when we do get that one that comes up. Okay, so a couple of you should have been able to um, actively actually miss that trade purely for the fact that the chicken span was not situated at the proper point. There wasn't enough open space in front of it. Okay? We're always requiring that little bit of space in front of the chicken to be clear of price. Because remember, whenever the chicken runs into price, we get consolidation. Okay, that's how it happens. So we just need to wait for a good clearance here to really jump into anything. Okay, next one, the US yen. What's happening here? Bullish or bearish? This one is bearish. Price is below the cloud. Future Kumo is bearish. It's also pointing down on one end. Okay. Tenkan and Kujin Sen gave a cross. It gave a bullish cross. But why? What's happening? Price is kind of consolidating now, isn't it? Look how much it's heading sideways. Look how the Chiku span has now started hitting price. What could happen? Could it go further? Sideways, I mean. Continue just going on that sideways path now. Could it go up? If it's going to go up, what is it going to do? What signals are we going to get? Okay. How long should we wait? If it's going to go down, what's going to happen? Is there going to be another entry that we can take? You see the way in which I'm looking at it? Okay. That's the analysis that you need to run through the entire time. Thinking of all possibilities that could play out and covering for each. So at this point in time, we've seen a Tenkan Kujin Sen cross happening here. It's a buy signal because the Tenkan crossed it from below the Kujin to above the Kujin. Okay, but that buy signal is a weak buy signal because it's sitting on a bearish side of the cloud. Also, we've got the Chiku span running right straight into price there. So we can expect some extra consolidation happening here. So what could happen? Could go up, yes. If it goes up, is there anything that we can do? No. I'd wait for the cloud break or a much better signal, maybe even the future Kumo cross before we go in for any kind of buy. So there's nothing that's going to be happening soon in terms of looking at a buy signal. But if this goes down, is there anything that we'd be able to do? Yes, there is. We'd be able to either play Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, but probably before that, we'd be able to go for a Kujin break, price breaking Kujin from above below. Okay. We could also be having the Chiku clearing price. Once it breaks price to the downward side, that's an entry signal on its own as well. Okay. So there's possibilities for the drop that could come up. And we could wait and time the best one to give us the best chances of actually knowing what it's going to do. So that's what we're going to be waiting for. Remember, if it goes up, there's not really much we'd be able to do. If it goes down, we've got three options. So with the US yen, there's nothing at this point in time that we can do. Can we ratchet our stop? Three flat sections back, right? 1, 2, 3. Nope, still have to wait a little bit longer. Okay, we'll be able to ratchet very, very short. Okay, so that one still needs to be where it is. Okay, next one. US Canadian dollar. Okay, now the US CAD. Okay, this one is a trade we took. We took it on the Kumo break. Okay, price was nice and clear, or basically the Chica was nice and clear from price, and that's why I was so favorable in taking that break. Okay, and it has ran beautifully. Can we ratchet the stop? Let's have a look. How many flat sections? 3. That's one small one. 2, 3. So no, we can't. Okay, it's going to take a little while before we can start ratcheting the stop loss, but we're in good profits with this trade currently. Okay, so the US CAD is running beautifully for us. There's no complaints on that one. we just need to wait and see whether it's either going to produce an extra entry, okay, because at this point in time there's nothing, okay, it's just trending strongly, um, or we might be able to ratchet the stop a little bit later on. But currently this isn't offering anything new, um, but it is moving beautifully. That's one of the good profitable trades. Okay, let's have a look at the next chart then. Next one is the euro yen. Now on this one we had an entry. We took basically the Tenkan Sen cross on this one. We've ratcheted the stop quite nicely. Can we ratchet again now? Yes, we can actually. Only problem is the most recent ones we've got here. Look here. That one there, that's still slightly down, flat, flat, flat. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I can move it slightly down from there over to there. Okay, stops ratcheted. Next, is there any signal for entering or so forth that came into play? What are you guys seeing? Okay, so Matimba saying there's a Kujin cross. Yes, that's it. Look there. We had it confirmed last night. Let's see. Cross from above to below. Now, Matimba, I want to find out from you. Okay. It's confirmed, so technically we'd be able to take the trade today. But I want to find out from you whether you would take this trade or not. And just hear your reasons for it. Okay, so you would not take the trade. Okay, why? Okay, so you're saying it's a weak buy and the Chico is still below price. Okay, so that is if we looked at the buy signal. But the most recent signal is actually the sell signal. You see, right? There's the buy signal, but that's a sell signal. It went from above to below. That's below the cloud. Okay, so for that one, what do you think? We're talking about the sell signal, not the buy signal. Ah, there we go. Exactly. Okay, the Chico is approaching price. So there's a couple of things that could happen. We could get a Chico breaking price, which could have a short upwards burst and then send this to a Kumo break. And then we could have the future Kumo turning and the whole thing turning trend. Okay, exactly. So that's definitely a big possibility that's up at this point in time. Not only that, okay, the other thing as well is that we've just gotten a Tenkan Sen cross happening here, and it's a buy signal. Okay. I'd really not really want to kind of jump in now, especially with where the Chicky span is situated. But if we have this going down slightly a little bit longer, or even sideways just more, you know, that by the time we start getting the Tenkan Sen cross happening, price might be at a much better position and we might have the Chiku span clear from price. Okay. So I'd probably just wait a little bit longer and not get into this trade, because it's like Timber said, it's the Chiku's heading into price. There's a lot that can happen from that point onwards, and I'm not liking the odds of that. So I'd rather wait a little bit longer for the good to clear price and get a much better idea. And the more appropriate signal that's most likely going to do that for me is going to be the Tenkan Kujin Sen sell signal that could come up in about a week. Okay, might be a little bit shorter, might be a little bit longer. But I think that's going to be the best approach to take with this one currently. We have already ratcheted the stop quite nicely. Okay, um, so we've already kind of minimized losses beautifully with this one already as well. Okay, we just need to wait for this to kind of get into its second gear and start kicking down again. Okay, right. Next chart. Now here we've got the Euro franc. Now remember with one we wanted to just kind of uh, 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 um have a look at what could be happening. We took the trade last week based on the Kumo break and the fact that the Chiku cleared price. Look how it started jumping back. Boom. But look at the beautiful thing. Look at where our stop's situated. Look how close we got to the stop loss. And now it started pulling back from there. We're still in negative territory with that one. Okay, but it is recovering. Uh, do you see the importance of stop loss placement now? Okay. You need to give these trades the room to breathe in when you're taking your entries. Okay, because if you're going to put it too close, you're going to turn what could be a good winner into a loser. Now, with this one currently, we've gotten a Tenkan Kujin-sen cross, but it's a buy signal. Future Kumo is bearish, looking like it wants to start changing. We've got price below the cloud though, which is all right. It's good. So it's still showing that it, has a bit of a bearish tendency to it still. And we've got the Chiku below price, but it is heading towards price. So the further this goes sideways, the more likely this is to be going up. If this continues going down from here, we could still have a bit of sideways movement later on because the Chiku would still be close to price. Okay. Any possible signals that could be coming up? Well, yes, we could have the Tenkan Kujin-sen cross for the sell signal coming up. And I need to wait and see exactly what that might be producing because the fact of where the Chiku span is situated. Might wait for Kujin cross, price breaking the Kujin downwards. That's another entry that could be popping up. That's going to happen before we're going to get the Tenkan Kujin sen sell signal. Okay, remember that's going to be when price starts going a little bit further down. Those are the most likely signals to come up very soon now. Another one is if this continues going up, then we get the cloud break or Kumo break happening. We'd also get Kujin breaking price upwards. That could be a good entry once we start getting those happening. Okay, this could continue going slightly down. Chiku moves into price, and then we get the Chiku clearing price at the bottom. So those are all possibilities of things that could be coming up. And because of those possibilities, I'm not going to do anything now. I'm just going to wait and see how this pans out. Okay, and I'll ratchet the stop as needed, when need be. Okay, right. Any questions on that chart at this point in time? Okay, so far all looks to be good. Great. Okay, next chart. Let's have a look at the euro pound. Okay. Now this one, we had an entry signal given last week. You remember we had the Kujin cross. Okay, or Kujin break. Was price breaking Kujin from below upwards. This is the first time that this trade with the original entry would have given you anything, um, as in re-entry. A lot of you would still be in this trade actually. Okay. But it's also confirmed another cross like that just last night. Now, we said we wanted to wait a little bit longer, purely for the fact that price was heading to, or the chicken was heading towards price. And I'd rather want price to, or the chicken to, clear price before I really do anything. Okay, so we're getting close to that happening now, actually. You see that. We've still got the chicken in price. Okay. I would probably just wait a little bit longer, just for a little bit of a better clearance, and then I take it. But what's coming up now most likely as well? So what am I saying? I'm saying I'm not going to take this Tenkan Kujin or this Kujin break, price breaking the Kujin, because that is an entry. Don't like where the Chiku is situated. Okay, so I wouldn't take that now. What should we wait for? What's going to be a good entry to wait for? Let's hear it. Who can identify that? Okay, that is the most recent one that has just happened. But what's going to be the most possible upcoming entry? Because to get a sell for the Tenkan-sen cross, it needs to be above the Kujin first and go down from there. And that's already happened like 4-5 candles ago. It's going to be the exact opposite actually. It's going to be Tenkan Kujin Sen buy signal coming up. Look at how the Tenkan's moving upwards and it's moving towards the Kujin. Okay, it's going to be a buy signal that's going to bring up. It's going to be a couple of candles extra, and that might have had the Chiku span move far enough away from price to be clear and open. So I'm going to wait for that entry signal as the better option to take for the upwards move. This continues going down, we're just going to obviously have to wait for a new set of conditions to come into play again. Okay. So with this one, I'm probably just going to wait for the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross that's going to come up, and it's going to happen very shortly. We could see that happening within the next 2-3 candles. Okay. And it should have shifted price up far enough so that we start getting the clearance of the Chiku from price. Okay. So definitely something to keep your eyes on and watch. Okay. Right now, here's an interesting one. What would you do? Found Frank. Okay, and it's definitely a sell entry. That's right, Matimba. Would you take that one? Okay, right. Everything else looks good as well. Only thing is we've got the Tenkan and Kujin Sen in the wrong order. Tenkan is pointing down, which is good though. So there is another signal that could possibly be coming up after this. And that would be Tenkan Kujin Sen sell signal. Okay, also in a couple of candles. That could be another one that gives us an entry. So, any of you are unsure about whether you want to get in now, you could also just wait a couple of candles extra. Okay. And if you feel more confident, you'd be able to take the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. Okay. What happens if this continues going sideways? if this goes up? It'll take a bit of time before we can really, if it goes up, before we can do anything. If it goes sideways, we could see some more consolidation. Could get the Chiku. Obviously, we're going to see the Chiku running into price, but we could get Chiku clearing price a little bit later. A couple of things could happen. Okay, and if it continues going down, odds are obviously a lot better. We're seeing a nice, good downwards point into the future Kumo as well. So by all means, the sell signal is up, it is there. And yeah, you see, it's. I'd probably just wait for the second one as well. Okay, I'd probably just wait for the Tenkan Kujin because I'd want a little bit more clearance in front of the Chiku there. Okay. So no real harm in just waiting a couple of extra candles to get a bit of a much clearer signal. Okay. Can we ratchet the stop on this one? Okay, if it goes up, then yes. Okay, second downwards entry, definitely. Okay. Could definitely. The only thing is it depends on where it's going to have the Chiku pushed as well. Okay. So yeah, this one can definitely be taken now. I'll just wait a couple of extra candles just to make sure that it's definitely going through that way. Because nothing stops this from going up from here as well. Heading into price there. Okay. That's the thing. It's just about what you feel more comfortable with. Okay. Right, that's right, guys. Good answer. Yes. Okay, well done. So, 1, 2, 3. Click, drag. Oh, there we go. Drop. Set in place. Okay. There we go. Once that one finishes, we'll be able to pull it down over there. Okay. Next one. This is virtually a carbon copy of what we just saw, isn't it? So first questions first. Can we ratchet? Well, yes, we can. Okay, so look at this. Look at this big jump now. 1, 2, 3. See the big difference just a week can make? Boom. Changed. Okay. More than enough room for price to have breathed in. Okay. Now, at this point in time, what do you guys think? Is there anything we can do? Are we going to take the trade? Are we going to wait? Is there anything else that could be coming up? What's going to be best course of action? What do you guys think? Okay. I tend to agree slightly. I'd also just wait a little bit longer because we do have the Chiku kind of being very close at price. So yeah, I'd just wait for the Chiku to get clear. So we've got the entry being given here, okay, with price breaking the Kujin. But we've still got the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross coming up and a couple of extra candles. And then the picture probably look a lot better. So from that point of view, I should wait a little bit longer, and I'd probably want to take advantage of the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross that's going to come up. If that doesn't have the Chiku in the right point, then at least it would have moved the Chiku closer to a point of clearing price, which is going to be the next entry signal that could possibly be coming up. We're just gonna have to wait and see how this is gonna pan out. That's basically it. Okay. But yeah, it's virtually a carbon copy of what we just saw, with the previous trade. Okay. Now, next chart. New Zealand US dollar. Now this one gave us a bar because at last week basically because it broke price and it got clear past a couple of levels. And it's been going down now. And look what's happened. It's inside the cloud. Virtually almost stopped us out. How it didn't stop us out, I have no fucking clue. Okay, probably just a bit of fate there, luck. Also, price is right smack bam, in the cloud with a Chiku also being right in the thick of it. Okay, it's just one big jumbled up mess at this point in time. So, what are possibilities that could be coming up? Let's have a look. What do you guys think? What could possibly be coming up on this? What's going to happen if this continues going down? It's obviously going to stop us out. What else is going to happen? Taken Kujinsen cross, yes. Are you not seeing the Kumo break that's going to come up? What about Chiku clearing price to the bottom? How much space is going to be in front of that Chiku then? See? This just needs to go down a slight little bit. And it's going to set the Chiku clear from price as well. Okay, we're going to have the Kumo break happen. But if we're still a bit worried about it, we'll wait a little bit longer. Because then we're probably going to get the future Kumo cross for the bearish side. Or we just wait for the Chiku to clear price a little bit better. Okay. So that's what we could do if this continues going down. What if this continues going up from here? Well, we're definitely going to have a couple of signals that we'd be able to take. There'd be a Kujin break, price breaking Kujin. There could be Chiku breaking or clearing price. Okay. So there's a number of possibilities that could happen in terms of the upwards move as well. Again, all we have to do now is wait and see. We know we are so at being stopped out, so we're just gonna have to wait. And that's it. We'll only know tomorrow. So this one, there's possibilities. We could get taken out, get a new entry come in. This could go up and give us a new entry as well for the upwards direction. At this point in time, all we can do is wait. That's it really. Okay, 3 charts left. Let's have a look. Next one is the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay. This one broke. It moved beautifully. We're making good money on this. There's no arguments from our side. Okay. No extra entries coming up at this point in time. So this is one that's going to have us wait a little while. Can we ratchet? 1. Can't count that. That's still skew. 2, 3. Yes, we can. And we've already secured our risk in terms of minimizing our losses now. Okay. So far, so good. It's running beautifully. Can't argue with this at all. Okay. This one's still going to need to run a little while. Like I said before, there's really going to be anything that it's going to give us. Okay. Right. So next one, Australian US dollar. Now here with this one, we got an entry given a little while ago, and that was also with a break of a particular price level. Okay, got in. Started to retrace now. Looks to be going bullish quite strongly. So that a retracement could go up and then continue, could go down, could see a trend change, could go sideways, see some consolidation. Only a couple more candles will give us a better idea. Chiku is still quite clear enough from price on that one. So I'm still happy with that. Can we ratchet? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, so nothing much happening with the Aussie US dollar as well. Okay, so that one's a little bit quiet. Kind of just, having a breather at this point in time, pulling down slightly. We can still expect it to come down quite harshly. We're just going to have to wait. Okay, right. So let's see. Next one. Boom. Franc yen. What's happened here? Sideways for a little bit now. We got a trade entry. Which entry was given just now? Any takers? Come on. All of you should know at this point in time, purely for the fact that we had this come up. There we go. Price breaking the Kuma. Oh, sorry, no, it's not the Kuma cross. It's Kuma cross hasn't happened yet, guys. It's still pointing down. Okay, that's Kujin cross. Okay, so it's the break from above downwards that happened. So we've got a sell signal up here. Cloud is bearish. It's pointing down. Price is below the cloud. Tekken and Kujin is in the correct order. Okay, Chico is below price. There we go. Kujin is kind of hitting into price. It's the only thing I don't like with this. So I'm going to hold on this one for a little while. I'm going to wait to see what this is going to do. For all I know, we could have price still continuing sideways and then go down and give us a second break downwards. Or we could have a Tekken Kujin Sen cross for the sell coming up because it looks like it's going to cross for a buy here. We could have this just turn and go up. Okay, we don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Okay, so this one I'm just going to give a bit more time to get a better understanding because there's a lot that can happen. If this goes up, we're going to have to wait a little while before we get any signal. If this continues going down, however, there's still the possibility of this extending a sideways move, and then we might need to wait a little bit longer to see if it's going to go up or down from there. Okay. So we're constantly assessing this and seeing how the viewpoint on this keeps on changing. That helps us to better determine, kind of what our next approach is going to be like. Whether we should rather wait or kind of jump in for the opportunity. Okay? Is there maybe something a little bit better just around the corner? Okay. Now, can we ratchet the stop? 1, 2, 3 flat sections. Yes. Boom. Risk minimized. Okay, there we go. And that is it basically for our end of day session. We ran through all our charts, checked if there's any new entries that we could take. There's a couple that came up, but wasn't too happy with the or the positioning, on all of them. Definitely we could have taken as well. I would just wait a little bit longer, purely for the fact, that I want to have a bit of a idea once a couple of candles is formed. So I've still got that entry that could come up. So there's a lot of entries that's possibly coming up now that you guys can keep an eye on. We should be in quite a couple of extra trades by next week. Okay, that's if it goes to the intended direction. We're gonna have to wait and make sure. Okay, so don't kind of guess that it is going to do that and just jump in. Be careful. Okay. Now, just for some fun, interesting facts, let's have a look at, what the rest of the markets are doing. We started adding this recently, just, purely for some interesting fun facts and that kind of thing. Okay, and let's look at what the rand dollar has basically been doing, or the dollar rand. Um, just the flip side version of what we're used to. But sort of, we're getting a lot of up and down movement now recently, and it's with all this reshuffling happening and all these, legal cases coming up against Previn, and there's a lot of turmoil happening, and the market is going to get a little bit sick of this probably soon enough, and it'll start taking a direction or a decision into a direction. Okay, what we need to look at is what's probably on the books here. Okay, we saw the break happen. We see that it could have gone down a little bit more, but it started to kind of hit a level of support right over there. See, boom, boom. Okay. And it looks like it could go for the top break. Okay. So it's probably going to be a good thing to have a couple of dollars at this point in time. Because if in rands, it's just going to get weaker by the looks of it. Because look here, we're getting Chiku breaking price here as well. And once it breaks price nicely, check the open space in front of it. That's scary. Okay. Right, so yeah, we're just going to need to wait and see what's going to happen. Okay, but it's interesting to see how we can use something like the Ichimoku on just our normal local markets to better understanding of what could happen. Okay, but you can see how all these different types of things within the news and the local markets and that kind of thing affects stuff like this. Okay, it's insane how powerful these things are. Let's have a look at Brent crude. Remember the last time we checked it was low, very nice priced, and it was starting to hit bullish. Well, there we go. Okay, it's confirmed to be bullish now. It's hitting almost $40 a barrel. It's been stagnating at that little level for a little while now. We could probably see it going down, and we could see it going up as well. Again, we don't know from this point yet. We're still going to need to wait. We could probably see just a bit of a sideways tussle for a little while now before we really get any clear decision as to which direction it's going to go into. Okay, we're going to have to wait and see again, to get a better understanding with this one in particular. Okay, let's see here. No, nothing else there. Okay, so at this point in time, guys, are there any questions that some of you might have got that would like to ask? We are still on here for about another 5 minutes. So if there's anything any of you ask, by all means, you can shoot. Either everyone is fine or it is definitely one big question. Okay, so it looks like everything is good then at this point in time. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else popping up, so okay. Right then. At this point in time, guys, that's it for the session then. Okay. Let's see that there's any other questions that popped up. I hope you guys picked up, a lot with today's session. Firstly, you could have seen how we managed some stops. You could see that there was entries that came up according to the Ichimoku's conditions, but we decided to not go into it purely for how a couple of things were positioned. That is the type of analysis I want you guys to understand within using the Ichimoku. Okay. Best advice I can give you guys is with your demo accounts, just follow with this end of day live trading sessions, okay, and see, compare week to week what you've done against what I've done to see if your analysis actually compares the same way as mine does. Because I want you guys thinking the same way I do about these things. Okay? I want you guys to be able to spot the next 3 possible steps ahead to have a much better idea of whether you could wait for a better entry, okay, and stop yourself from maybe making a mistake, or whether it's going to be a definite good position to get in now with, or maybe just wait to get a slightly better picture. Those are the important things I want you guys to be able to pull from this. Okay. But other than that, then, guys, that's it for this session. Thanks for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, we are on a couple of extra trades. We've had to go against us. We are in some slight profits. So we're just going to need to wait and see what's going to happen. The nice thing is that we did minimize our losses so far at this point in time by rating some stops. So everything is still moving towards a good side. Okay. Just going to give this a bit more time to see how it's going to transpire a bit later. But that's the whole thing, that's the name. It's patience. Okay. Right, guys, enjoy the rest of the evening, and then I'll see you guys again, same time, same place next week. Okay. Cheers, guys.